Hello everyone, welcome to Mechanical Sati. So today in this video we are going to discuss some numericals which were asked previously in GATE. Okay, and these numericals which we will be discussing over here, this may be helpful for those students who are preparing for GATE 2021 as well as those students who are preparing for IFET which is to be conducted this year for the first time. So the subject which we have chosen for today, that is refrigeration and air conditioning. So around 5 questions we'll be discussing here. So be with me till last and solve with me so that you can take maximum benefit from this video. So without wasting time, let us move forward and start our discussion for today. So for today, this is the our first question. Let us first try to read it. So here it is telling that the pressure, dry bulb temperature, and the relative humidity of air in a room is given 1 bar, 30 degrees centigrade, and 70% respectively. So pressure is given as 1 bar, and dry bulb temperature is given as 30 degrees centigrade, and relative humidity which is given as 70%. So if the saturated pressure at 30 degrees centigrade is 4.25 kilopascal, that means saturated pressure at dry bulb temperature, that is 30 degrees centigrade, it is given as 4.25 kilopascal. And okay, so it is asking to find out the specific humidity. Okay, so this is not the specified, this is the okay, the specific humidity of the room air in kg water vapor per kg of dry air is how much. So options are given like 0.0083, 0.0101 and 0.0191 and 0.0232. Okay, so basically here in this question it is asking to find out the specific humidity of that room. Okay, so let us try to find out that. So there is a basic formula to find out the specific humidity of the air. Okay, so of the room actually. So it was asked in GATE 2013. Okay, so okay, so the basic formula which we know, that is our what. So let me write that over here. That is basically we are denoting our specific humidity by W. Okay, and that can be calculated by using this formula. So let me write it over here. That is 0.622 into PV divided by PT minus PP. Okay, so this is PP. Okay, where this is the constant value. Okay, and PV is the vapor pressure. Okay, that is the partial pressure of the vapor, we can say, inside that room. Okay, and PT is the total pressure which is given in our question, that is 1 bar, and again PV. So from this expression the single unknown is with us, that is PV, that is the partial pressure of the vapor. So anyhow, if we can calculate this value, that is PV, then we can calculate this specific humidity. So let us try to find out this value, that is PV first. Okay, so for finding this PV, we have the data, that is our relative humidity. So relative humidity is given to us, that is our 70%. So we can write, so let me write it over here. So relative humidity is denoted by phi actually. So that phi is given us as 70%. Okay, 70%. So that is we can write it as 0.7. Okay, so phi is given to us as 0.7, and the expression of phi that can be found out by this expression, that is our PV divided by PS. Okay, where PV is the partial pressure of the vapor. Okay, and PS is the saturated pressure. Okay, so which is given over here, the saturated pressure of vapor. Okay, so that the saturated pressure at the dry bulb temperature at 30 degree, which is given to us as 4.25 kilopascal. Okay, so this data is given to us and phi is also given to us. Then simply by using the calculator, we can calculate the value of partial pressure of vapor, that is PP. Okay, so let us first try to find out that value. So for finding the PV, so PV I can calculate by multiplying 0.7, and this PS, that is the saturated pressure at the dry bulb temperature, that is 30 degree, so that is 4.25. okay, so it will be multiplying this one. So let me use the scientific calculator. So how can we multiply this one? Okay, so this is 0.7 cross our 4.25, so that we can calculate this one as 2.975. okay, so 2.975 in terms of kilopascal will be getting the answer. So let me write it over here, that is 2 point, so let me see what is 2.975. okay, 2.975, so it will be in terms of kilopascal. So it will be converting that into bar, because our total pressure which is given in terms of bar actually. So let me convert it into bar. So it will be converting this partial pressure of vapor into bar. Then we can write it as 0. Okay, that is 0.02975, and this will be in terms of bar. Okay, so this will be the PV. So already we calculated the value of PP. So simply we know the value of total pressure inside that room, that is given as 1 bar, and the PP value we just now calculated as 0.02975, that will be also in terms of bar. Then simply putting this value over here, we can calculate the value of specific humidity of the room. Okay, so let us put all these values and calculate that. So let me directly go to our calculator, that is scientific calculator, and calculate this one. So we can, so let me clear it. Okay, so W can be calculated as 0.622 into our, so that is our PV, that is our 0.02975, it will be bar in terms of bar, divided by, so let me use this bracket, and that will be 1, that is the total pressure, minus again PV, that is 0.02975. okay, so let me use the close bracket. So okay, now this will be the value of specific humidity. Okay, so that is 0.01907. okay, so approximately we can write it as 0.0191. okay, so let me use another ink over here. Okay, so now we calculate this value, that is 0.0191. this is the specific humidity of the room in terms of kg of water vapor per kg of dry air. So option number C will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so now let us move towards the next question, that is question number 2. So I think this is clear to all of you. Okay, so now let us move towards next question. Okay, so this is a common data type question. Okay, so question number 2 and question number 3 is to be used all these data which are given over here. So let us first try to read it. So here it is telling that a refrigerator operates between 120 kilopascal and 800 kilopascal. Okay, in an ideal vapor compression refrigeration cycle with R134A as the refrigerant. Okay, so the cycle which is being used for this refrigeration system for this refrigerator is an ideal vapor compression cycle. So VCRS actually. VCRC, and refrigerant which is used over here, that is R134A. So the refrigerant enters the compressor as a saturated vapor and leaves the condenser as a saturated liquid. Okay, so if we'll be trying to draw the diagram over here, so let me use this one. Okay, So it will be trying to draw the diagram. So we can draw the temperature versus entropy diagram over here. So temperature is taken in y-axis, and entropy is taken in x-axis. So we can draw a vapor dome over here. Okay, so here it is telling that, let me use another ink. Okay, so here it is saying that the refrigerant enters the compressor as the saturated vapor. Okay, so compression process is occurring from the saturated vapor region. So for that we can draw a vertical line like this, which will show us the compression line. Okay, so let me, okay, so the starting point of the compression line will be from somewhat here. Okay, where we can show, let this is the point 1. Okay, and this is let point 2. Okay, so after compression, okay, so let me read all these things over here. Okay, the refrigerant enters the compressor as a saturated vapor and leaves the condenser as the saturated liquid. That means after condensation, it is being totally converted into the liquid. So condensation is being completed somewhat here. Okay, so let me take it towards some up. Okay, okay, let this condensation is being completed over here. So let me write this. So let me name this as point 3. Okay, so from this to this will be the condensation process. Okay, okay, so this cycle will be somewhat like this. Now we can name, so this is from the 2 to 3 process is the condensation process. Okay, that from the question we got that our compression is started from point 1 and condensation is completed at point 3. Okay, so this is given in the question. Okay, so let us read all these things over here. Okay, condensation at the saturated liquid. The mass flow rate of the refrigerant is given as 0.2 kg per second, and the properties of the that refrigerant, which is given to us as R134A, that are given as follows. So these properties are given to us. So at 120 kilopascal and 100 kilopascal, sorry, 800 kilopascal, all these properties, that is temperature, saturated temperature, okay, HF, Hg, and entropy, okay, enthalpy, entropy, all these things are given to us. Okay, and for the superheated region also our properties, that is enthalpy and entropy, are given to us. So for the question number 2, so it is asking to find out the rate at which the heat is extracted in kilojoule per second from the refrigerated space. So that is basically, it is asking to find out the refrigeration effect. Okay, so then the rate at which our heat is being extracted from the refrigerated space. So in question number 2 we have to calculate this one. Okay, so let us move to our diagram. So we can complete this diagram like this. So this will be our uh, expansion process. So that may be happen by using some expansion valve. Okay, and so this will be a constant enthalpy process. That means the enthalpy at point 3, that will be equal to enthalpy at point 4. So it will be somewhat here. So this is the point 4, and this will be heat extraction region. That means during 4 to 1 process, our heat will be extracted from our the refrigerated space. So for calculating the value of Q, okay, that is what amount of heat is to be extracted from the refrigerated space, from this diagram we can say that it is our H1 minus H4. Okay, so if we know the value of enthalpy at point 1 and point 4, then we can calculate the value of our heat extracted. Okay, so let us first try to find out all these enthalpies over here. So if we'll see, okay, let me see the diagram over here. So if we'll be seeing this diagram, then we can say this is the pressure at this line. This is the 120 kilopascal, and the pressure corresponding to this line is our 800 kilopascal. Okay, so the properties which are given to us corresponding to 120 kilopascal, that will be used in this line. Okay, so let us use that. Okay, so here enthalpy is the H1 we can say, and it is at the saturated vapor region. Okay, so for saturated vapor region, whatever enthalpy, that is denoted by Hg. Okay, so Hg at our saturated vapor region, and pressure corresponding to that is 120 kilopascal. So Hg value we can find out from here, so that is given as 237 kilojoule. Okay, kilojoule per kg. So let us use that value. So here it is given 237 kilojoule per kg. So I can write H1 value, so that H1 I can write as 237 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so now we have to calculate the value of enthalpy at point 3. So this point 3 is corresponding to 800 kilopascal pressure. Okay, so the properties which are given for 800 kilopascal, that will be used in this case. So let us see all those property values over here. So 800 kilopascal, and this point is located at our what, saturated liquid region. Okay, so for that the value of enthalpy at the saturated liquid region will be used over here. That means HF corresponding to 800 kilopascal, that will be the value of H3. So H3 we can write it over here. So H3 will be equal to what, that will be so let us check that HF value corresponding to 800 kilopascal. Okay, so that will be as 95.5 kilojoule per kg. So H3 we can write it like this, that is 95.5 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so as we know from here, this is a constant enthalpy process. So that means the enthalpy at point 3 will be equal to the enthalpy at point 4. Okay, so H3 will be equal to H4. That means whatever value we have got over here, so let me write it over here. Okay, so that will be equal to H4. Okay, so already we have found out the value of H1, that is as 237 kilojoule per kg, and H4 value we just now calculated as 95.5 kilojoule per kg, and we need to find out the rate at which heat is being extracted from the refrigerated space. That means Q. Okay, so that we can write as refrigeration effect. So RE, so that formula we know, that is equal to H1 minus H4. So if we'll be deducting H4 minus H4 from the H1 value, then we can calculate this value of refrigeration effect. So let us use the calculator and calculate this value. Okay, so let me clear this one. So this will be equal to 237, okay, minus 95.5, that will be equal to what, 141.5. it will be in terms of kilojoule per kg. Okay, so let me write it over here. That will be equal to what, 141.5 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so let me rub all these portions over here. Okay, so just now we calculated the refrigeration effect in terms of kilojoule per kg, but it is asking to find out the refrigeration effect in terms of kilojoule per second. Okay, so for finding that, we need to multiply the mass flow rate, which is given here as 0.2 kg per second. So it will be multiplying 0.2 with that. Okay, so it will be multiplying 0, so let me write it, 0.2 into 141.5. so let us again move to calculator, into our 0.2, then we can calculate this as 28.3 kilojoule per second. Okay, so we can calculate this value, that is as 28.3 kilojoule per second. Okay, so here we can see this answer in the option number A. So option number A will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so let us now move towards the next question, that is question number 3, which will be using this data also. Okay, so this is the question number 3. This is telling that the power required for the compressor in kilowatt. Okay, so we need to find out the power which will be using by the compressor. Okay, so let us move to our diagram. So here our compression will be somewhat here. So let me show the direction of the cycle. The cycle is occurring in this direction and compression is taking place from 1 to 2. Okay, so 1 to 2. So for calculating the power, first we need to calculate the work which is being given to the compressor. Okay, so that can be calculated by deducting h1 from h2. So we know the value of h1 over here. Okay, so if we'll be calculating the value of h2, and after calculating the value of h2 simply by deducting h1 from that, okay, then whatever value we'll be finding, if we'll be multiplying with the mass flow rate to that, then we can calculate the value of what, that is our power. Okay, so let us do that that directly. So we know that so let us use the properties which are given to us. Okay, so here it is given that superheated properties of refrigerant, which is given to us R134A, and at 800 kilopascal the saturation temperature, which is the temperature corresponding that is your 40 degree, and at 40 degree enthalpy and entropy is are given to us. Okay, so if we'll see over here, so the entropy at point 1 will be equal to the entropy at point 2. Okay, so entropy at point 1 is given to us as 0.95. so let us see that in the properties. Okay, so here corresponding to 120 kilopascal, our entropy which we have calculated, that is the saturated entropy, saturated vapor properties. Okay, that is 0.95 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so corresponding to that our temperature and enthalpy are given to us. That means this is the value of enthalpy at point 2. So directly from the data which is given to us, we can find out the value of our enthalpy at point 2. So from here we can write that H2 will be equal to, so that is what, this one, 276.45. okay, that is 276.45 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so H2 value we have found out from this given data, and H1 already in the previous problem we have calculated, and simply if we'll be putting that W will be equal to what, H2 minus H1, then we can calculate the W, and for finding the power we have to multiply the mass flow rate which is given to us in the data. So simply putting all these values we can calculate the value of power required to the compressor. Okay, so let us move to calculator and try to put all these values and calculate that. Okay, so mass flow rate which is given to us as 0.2 kg per second into, so let me use the bracket, and the enthalpy at point 2 which we just now found out, that is 276.45 minus our enthalpy at point 1 which we calculated or found out before, that was 237. okay, so let us close the bracket, and if we'll be calculating this one, we'll be getting as 7.89 kilojoule per second. Okay, so kilojoule per second simply we can write as kilowatt. Okay, so we can write it over here, that is 7.89 or directly, that will be equal to 7.9 kilowatt. Okay, so our answer is matching to the option number C. Okay, so option number C will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so I think time is not supporting to us. So in this video we solved three questions. So we'll be continuing solving all these problems in the next lectures. So for this video, this much we solved. So thank you for watching.